There is something men refuse to see, something that quietly shapes how women choose, test, and desire them without saying a single word. It isn't romantic, it isn't comforting, and it doesn't care about your intentions. Are you truly ready to hear it without running away? Why are men ignored even when they give everything? Why does calmness attract more than kindness? Why does desire appear only where there is resistance? Most men believe a woman is one with sweet messages, thoughtful gestures, and polite affection. They assume being nice, attentive, or special will guarantee interest. But kindness does not conquer. Empathy does not seduce. Being different means nothing if it isn't supported by inner strength. Here is the truth no one wants to admit. Women are not searching for good men. They are searching for men worth wanting. And in the psychological reality of feminine desire, value is proven under pressure. A woman does not judge you by what you say, but by what you can withstand without collapsing. She does not ask if you are strong. She observes whether your mind breaks. She does not treat you as a loyal companion. She evaluates you like a silent opponent. Are you prepared to face truths that hurt? Type control if you are. As Machiavelli warned, every form of power must be tested, even emotional power. And these tests hide in ordinary moments: a delayed reply, a subtle criticism, an indifferent glance, silence that forces you to reveal yourself. Desperate men call it rejection. Conscious men recognize it for what it is, a psychological trial. This reveals the first dark law. A woman is not trying to be pleased by your behavior. She is making sure your behavior will not control her. The average man wants to be liked so he can feel accepted. The conscious man earns respect so he won't be owned. The difference appears invisible, but it changes everything. Machiavelli would say, "He who seeks to please loses power. He who imposes value keeps it." Picture this. A man texts a woman he barely knows. He answers fast, warmly, constantly. She takes her time. He worries, insists, repeats how interested he is. He thinks he's showing affection, but in reality, he's revealing dependency. She isn't playing sentimentally. She's measuring how he reacts to emptiness. The silence is not neglect, it is strategy. And here comes another Machiavellian rule applied to feminine psychology. Power is not in what you offer, but in what you refuse to surrender. Women do not feel drawn to a man who gives himself away without resistance. They are drawn to the man who protects something from them: his time, his energy, his mission, his emotional control. What most men call love, Machiavelli would call a negotiation of power, because to love, strategically speaking, is not to give yourself away, but to choose where you place your vulnerability without losing authority. And this is where the myth of the gentleman collapses. Kindness that comes from fear is not kindness. It is submission disguised as charm. When a nice, caring man begs for attention, she does not feel cherished. She feels unprotected. A woman respects the man who can frustrate her without losing control, because frustration without desperation is the mark of self-governance, and self-governance is the root of all power. Observe the man she desires. He does not plead. He does not demand. He is not emotionally hungry. He acts as if he possesses an inner kingdom to defend. She senses it, and if she senses it, she values it. Because feminine desire does not fixate on the man who tries to please her, but on the man she cannot easily break. This explains a paradox. A woman can feel tenderness and affection, but attraction only ignites when she perceives emotional authority. Not aggressive dominance, not childish control, but a cold calmness, what Machiavelli would call the virtue of a leader, mastery over oneself. And that calmness produces a brutal psychological effect. When a man does not rush, does not panic, and does not beg, she begins to compete for his attention, not to manipulate him, but because the human mind desires what it cannot immediately possess. Machiavelli phrased it differently. People forget the gifts they receive, but burn with desire for what is withheld. This same law governs feminine attraction. What is freely given loses value without guilt. What is difficult to access becomes emotionally prized, not because she is manipulative, but because the brain associates difficulty with worth. Here rises the third dark law. A woman does not crave the man who chooses her easily, but the man whose choice feels costly. That is why when a woman says, "I don't like when men insist," she really means, "I don't like when a man without value insists." When a valuable man insists, it is not insistence, it is genuine interest. When a man with no value insists, it becomes emotional harassment. Now comes the secret most men cannot bear. There is no equality in attraction. There is no meritocracy. No one receives what they deserve. You only receive what your presence provokes, and presence is not body, money, or charm. Presence is the way a man stands in the world, how he relates to pleasure, scarcity, sacrifice, and himself. A strong presence is built by not giving yourself away, not justifying yourself, not begging. The necessary man does not beg. The valuable man does not chase. The controlled man is willing to lose. While the average man fears being ignored, the conscious man tolerates indifference without humiliation. That invisible difference shifts everything. A woman may admire beauty, kindness, and intelligence in many men, but she is only attracted to the man who does not need to be loved. Here, psychology agrees with Machiavelli. What does not depend on external approval becomes magnetic. She is not attracted to your fragility. She seeks your self-containment, the ability to desire without being ruled by desire, to love without abandoning your priorities. That calmness becomes the shield, the psychological armor that separates the man who loves from the man who surrenders unarmed. And now we reach the most ignored secret of feminine desire. A woman respects before she loves. Love can grow without respect. Desire only grows where respect already exists. Disrespect your time, your mission, your boundaries, and you kill her desire. A woman does not crave what she can control without resistance. Here comes the uncomfortable revelation. Men think they lose women for not showing enough love. They lose them because they show love without showing value. This is the real game. You do not seduce with emotions, but with character. You don't attract with what you give, but with what you do not give to just anyone. You do not conquer with words, but with the ability to stay unmoved by need. The average man asks how to be liked. The strategic man asks how to be respected. The ordinary man wonders, what must I do? The conscious man wonders, what should I never let someone do to me? And so we conclude with a law that rules not only seduction, but life itself. He who seeks love without authority ends up serving the one he loves. If this sounds cruel, unfair, or exaggerated, then you still have not understood what truly governs the psychology of desire.